go. I'm going to kick us off this morning. Welcome. We're the Cleveland, Ohio Developers Group. I'm one of your leaders, Linda Kane, along with Orlando Berseno Gomez. Both of us have Twitter accounts. Those are the addresses, but you can also reach us via email through the Trailhead community. Plenty of ways. So
we're all hyper connected.
Yep. Our hot topic today is September shorts. So the idea is some short topics. We're not going to keep everybody for too long. I'm just going to share some stuff and then have time for conversation. This recording will only go through our slides, after which I'll stop the recording. So for the question and answer period. So our agenda, we have 4 topics. Like I said, short. Dreamforce 2021, some Trailhead updates, the winter 22 release highlights, as well as some upcoming local events. So first topic, Dreamforce. It's next week. Really, next week already? So in case you didn't see, there are limited invitations for in-person, lots of protocols for COVID around it. If you've seen some of the Twitter posts, people have to submit 3 different COVID tests before they're allowed to show up. Kind of crazy, but it should be fun for those that get to go. I know I'm not attending in person. I don't think Orlando is. Is anyone here going to make it on in person?
Not me. No, sadly.
No, I think I'm hearing crickets. So that leaves the rest of us with the virtual experience. It's going to be broadcast on the new Salesforce Plus. Usual sign up, salesforce.com/dreamforce. It kicks off this Tuesday with the keynote at 12:45 in our local time. You can go to the Salesforce Plus site. I definitely recommend at least trying it for at least one session. They are also co-broadcasting on Twitter and Facebook. But there are other ways you can also join. If you go out to Trailblazer community groups, look for watch parties. We are not having one ourselves, but there are lots of groups who will be holding them, especially for the keynote. Many of those groups have been given certification vouchers to give away during their watch parties. So if you're looking to get certified in something soon, it might be a great way to find a smaller group holding a watch party to maybe win one. The other thing is the Salesforce Ohana Coffee is holding an all conference long watch party. So they are not broadcasting during, but it's a way to meet up and comment, smooth with other people who do Salesforce. I'll be on that off and on. It's kind of a drop in, drop out type thing as you're able. But you can sign up and I will have this posted on our collaboration group and share links with everyone in the follow-up to this meeting. Email it goes out. So some key sessions that are out there, obviously the main show. So the keynotes, they'll make some announcements, there'll be special guests. Will Smith is on there. I don't know if you've seen some of the Twitter things hinting at Fresh Prince. It's kind of funny. And then I know Jane Fonda is the other big celebrity guest. And there are a bunch of community people, definitely Salesforce customers in that presentation. At 5 p.m. is True to the Core. This is a very popular session at every event. Parker Harris and a bunch of project managers talk about roadmap, ideas, try to answer our questions, sometimes not in our favorite ways, but at least they try to be honest. There are plenty of developer sessions. I just picked one, but there are ones specific to Lightning Web Components, Apex. There's some stuff on RevOps as well as DevOps happening, lots of sessions. This one at 6:30 is kind of the main event for developers. So if there was a keynote for developers, that would be it. It's called Innovate from Anywhere. I honestly don't know if True to Core will be over by the time this one starts, but you know, sometimes things are overlapping. It's a good thing they're on the second day on 9/22, one of the sessions I thought might be interesting was architecting at scale. So it's all about tools and innovations to help identify and deal with bottlenecks. within your org. And then the last one I listed on here is the last day at 2 p.m. It's the IT Leaders Guide to the Salesforce Platform Roadmap. It's kind of considered the IT main event. They're definitely going to feature things that have been mentioned before that we have yet to see for real, like the DevOps Center, the backup restore being brought back, Salesforce functions and more. And I've seen some posts that suggest there's going to be a live giveaway during that session.
Cool. And I know Foo Fighters are gonna be playing. I'm gonna guess to kick off the keynote, maybe.
Yep, I got that on here. So, so the fun, the swag, maybe a virtual party or two, because you know what's Dreamforce without some fun and some parties. So, an interesting session on the 22nd at 5:30. They're doing innovation and draw along with Disney Studio Lab. So budding artists, you know, even if you don't draw really well, they're not going to see it. You're virtual, you don't have to share it, but it could be kind of fun. The opening celebration is on, I think I have the 22nd. That might be the 21st. I might have typed the wrong date, but it's at 9 p.m. Pretty sure it's the 21st, but it's with the Foo Fighters. So you might want to check out that concert. It should be interesting. If you're interested in a pre-party, on the 20th, Simplest is sponsoring the Power Up Party. That is the registration website for it. To get it and invite, it's 1 hour at 4 p.m. They'll have some celebrities, they'll have some giveaways. I don't have much more details than that. So some other swag type things, if you haven't already seen it on Twitter, App Exchange is hosting an Appy hoodie contest. So they're going to start posting tweets with challenges shortly after the event starts at 2 p.m. after the keynote. And all you have to do is do the challenge and post whatever it is they're asking you to post with Appy and sweepstakes by the end of the event. And you could potentially win a hoodie. And of course, as always with the events in Trailhead, they're going to offer a Dreamforce quest. You just have to check out Quest to see when it goes live and what it includes. Most likely there'll be a few badges. You'll have to confirm you watch some sessions. We'll see what else shows up in it. It should be interesting. So the other notes, I don't know if you've seen some of the stuff, but there's a Disney Plus thing going around. So if you watch at least one full session during Dreamforce, so you don't have to watch it live, but you have to watch it during the time the Dreamforce is happening. You have to connect to Salesforce Plus with your Trailhead account. You will get an email after Dreamforce with a code to get 1 year free of Disney Plus. So yeah, I've seen some posts suggesting people have noticed the similarity between Salesforce Plus and Disney Plus in the Plus. Yes, Disney Plus, it looks like uses Salesforce as its main platform. So Salesforce Plus is kind of using their model and releasing their own stuff. Kind of interesting.
Yeah.
Anyone else have anything else they've learned about Dreamforce so far they want to share, or any questions?
Yeah, feel free to chime in since we're having a small group today. I don't know anything else happening or other events for Dreamforce yet. There's a lot of information, but I guess you can get overwhelmed.
Yeah, I think there'll be more stuff coming over the next, you know, as we get closer, and definitely the places to watch are Twitter. Some people post to cross-post to LinkedIn, and of course in the Trailblazer community on Trailhead, definitely stuff will be posted there. All right, so Trailhead update. So I'm sure by now you've seen that all the collaboration groups, the answers, postings and everything are now at trailhead.com. So we don't have to remember 2 different addresses. We want to learn things. The groups, the community groups are now available in the mobile, both for Android and iOS. I still like it better on desktop, but that's my own personal opinion. Feel free to use it on mobile if I'm still a little old school. New modules and projects are typically released on Wednesdays. If you didn't see, and I got a 0 instead of a 9, but on the 15th, they released 12 new modules and 1 new projects. And just keep in mind that eventually modules and projects and even super badges do get retired. Do them while they're available. I can tell you how many I missed out on, but it's good to learn. And sometimes even good ones get retired. In case you didn't notice, the lemonade stand one is now gone. I'm very sad. So if you didn't know about it, quests are awesome. They're lots of fun. So from menu in Trailhead, you go to the community tab and quests is on the right under quick links. There are technically 5. I only list 4, but that's because 2 fall under 1. So current quests going on. So there's the Learn More 22 quest. There's an admin and a developer track. For each track, you can earn a community badge on your account, and then they're giving away cert vouchers. At the end of it, they're going to do drawings and they'll reach out to the people who win. There is currently a developer superset quest that gets you another community badge. It's tied very much to the kind of the PD1 study type things. The Google Cloud Essentials quest, that one was very interesting. So you win a badge, you get in a drawing for a hat. It's a Google Essentials hat, Cloud Essentials hat. It's a very different badge than many of the others because you have to kind of remotely log in through your Trailhead account to Google and try out their kind of dev environment products. It was very interesting. It was kind of cool. You have to do it in an incognito mode so that you're not attaching your regular Google account to it. So that was a little bit different. It took a little bit for me to get it right, but I did, but not too hard. And then marketing in motion. So from the big marketing conference that was the other month, they have their own badge with different things to go out, read, and learn about. That one, the new badge is going to feature their new mascot, Brandy the marketer, who is a fox. Not in terms of looks, but just is the creature of a fox. And then there's some ongoing quests that are always out there. So the beginner's quest, sorry, I went back too fast. So the beginner's quest, the Road to Ranger, and unfortunately my little thing is over my slide, so I can't see it. So the Be Super. So if you earn a super badge, they give away vouchers. If you join that quest, and for each of these 3 quests, there is a trail mix that you need to join to be eligible to win. So even if you joined Trailhead years ago, just at some point click on the beginner's quest and follow that trail mix so that maybe you could be a winner for that month. Same for the super badge, you need to join that mix so that in any month that you earn super badge, then you'll be eligible to win one of the vouchers. And for the Road to Ranger, again, there's a mix you have to follow, and then you become, once you reach Ranger status, you become eligible. That hoodie is the prize that they give away for that.
Yeah, definitely. I'll try to do the developer superset. I haven't done a super batch in so long. Anybody else doing any of these quests? I think Armando was interested in that one too.
I'm doing the process automation super badge. That's what's next on my list. Sorry, not the quest, but I do have to look into that.
Yeah, make sure you sign up for the quest so when you finish it, you're eligible for
Got it.
prizes.
Got it. Thanks.
And usually do the learn more for the new releases. Yeah.
So the learn more is typically, there might be a badge or 2, but typically it's the blog post that you need to go out and read. They don't really take long because those blog posts are pretty short, but they're usually feature some of the new release topics, which Orlando will cover in a little bit. So the last thing with the Trailblazer Trailhead updates, please don't forget, we do have our own collaboration group under there. It's under the communities tab. You can select groups. I usually do a search for CLE. You can go to the, you may have to go to all groups if you're not a member already. So it's actually called the Developer Group Cleveland, US. You have to ask to join. Orlando and I manage the members for that. We ask that people who join our collaboration group be local to Cleveland. That way we can keep the conversation local, but we always welcome non-Clevelanders to our virtual events. And if you're in Cleveland, feel free to join an in-person event when we have one. It's always lots of fun to connect with the community when you travel. I know when I've gone to Chicago, I've tried to find events and made sure I join those as well. And Orlando, I'm going to shut up now and you get to talk and just tell me when to turn the page.
All right. So let's talk about a little about winter 22. If you can go to the next slide, Linda, please. Look, I'm sure most of you have seen this little cute Astro with a Jetty costume already in your sandboxes. But by the looks of this timeline, I realized I missed most, if not all, of the events, the pre-release work and things like that. I don't know if you're into the custom of doing that. I need to start doing it and be ahead of the updates that are coming. Last week, we had the whole lot of release readiness live sessions for the different products, Sales Cloud, Service Cloud, admin, developer, and so on. I think the last one was yesterday for marketing. I tried to attend that one even for a short time, and I don't see it in my screen, but since September 10 to October 8, production orgs are going to start going to winter 22. So you'll have to check your org, and you can verify in trust.salesforce.com when is it scheduled for going to the new release. Has somebody seen winter 22 in your production orgs?
Oh, mine's the 5th, I think.
All right.
Of October.
You're on top of it. Great. Yeah, mine is not there yet either. Yeah, it's coming. Winter is coming. All right, we can go to the next one, Linda. Thank you. On the topic of all this release readiness, things available for you to know what's coming. We have links there for documentation, a group for collaboration and asking questions, and the developer release readiness session. They published the recording. There's the QR code and links in this slide for you to go see. I didn't find any of the other sessions being recorded, but they're usually publish them. Maybe it's gonna take a little while, but the developer one, it's right there. There's a lot to cover, and we're gonna talk a little about those in the next slide. So from the ton of features and update that we'll be getting in winter 22, this one's catch my eye. My curated list, if you will. So the first one, the LWC tree dependencies. It's a neat feature in setup. You go to the web component section, and now if you go to a particular Lightning Web component, you can see in a tree view what components are part of that main component. I think that's very handy, especially if you have components with children, which is usually the case. So you can keep track of other Lightning Web components used and other resources like Apex classes and so on. Lightning page performance. I tried those two out last night. you can go to landing page, and if you go edit, there's a button to assess the performance of how much it will take to load. I think that will be very handy if your landing page starts getting very, very dynamic and very content heavy. Tons of flow updates. I highlighted some, but the color is not doing it justice. First and foremost, the ability to send outbound messages. Linda, could you go back to that slide, please? It's a major thing. It's a feature that previously was only available in, correct me if I'm wrong, in workflows. So this is part of the whole thing of workflows and process builders being retired, not for winter 22. That's going to be little by little. But if you recall from your admin and even the developer certifications, there's usually questions about like, how can you send an outbound message, or why will you choose a workflow over a process builder or a workflow over a flow? And this was usually the case. Now Lightning Flows will have that ability. So yeah, get into that. Other cool ones, being able to call a subflow from a record trigger flow. Rollback records, that's a major one. Before from your CRUD operations, you had create, read, update, and so on. But now you have the ability to roll back a change, and that will come in really handy if you add logic to capture errors and then be able to go back to the previous state, or if you go to a turning point where you can either continue or go back. So that will be really interesting. You'll have the ability to relabel the navigation buttons in the ScreenFlow. If you recall, you have next, back, and pause for navigation. And now you can add like useful or funny or both captions in your buttons, like, I don't know, Danger Will Robinson, if you are doing a destructive change. We have comments. Sebastian, I tried using that flow from record trigger flow, and it has some limitations that I've found. I haven't tried it. If you like to comment on that, Sebastian, that'd be great.
Yeah. So I have a process builder that is firing off a subflow, and it has pauses in it to wait different durations. But I tried to convert that and turn it into a record triggered flow, and the subflows can't have any pauses in them, at least not yet.
Okay.
Not in winter 22.
Interesting. Thanks for sharing. So yeah, more flow updates, more debugging enhancements. Now, if you are using the auto layout for flows, which I like, it keeps everything very tidy. But now you're gonna be able to reconnect the elements in your flow. So those are some winter 22 features that I thought were really interesting, and I'm looking forward to. Guys, if you know of any other feature that it's interesting to you and you want to share, you're welcome to do so. But yeah, lots of good stuff coming.
Yeah, very exciting.
Yeah. All right.
And then with that, I don't know if anyone's seen the messages that they're going to be retiring eventually, workflow rules and process builders. Not in this release, but in a future release, they will be providing tools to help us convert workflow rules and process builders to flow. And if you haven't seen since last release in the optimizer, if you run the Salesforce optimizer reports and go to that tab, there's already a place about moving process builders to flow and some guidance on that.
Sebastian comments, convert to Flow on unofficial SF. It's out there. Yeah, unofficial SF. It's a great resource. Go ahead, Sebastian.
Yeah, there's some limitations to it, but I have converted some process builders with that tool, and it's pretty great. It does do an actual like self deployment in your own orgs. So you have to set up the remote site setting to allow it, but it will also run all tests. So if you have any broken test class in your sandboxes, then it won't work.
All right, awesome. Yeah, that sounds very handy.
So yes, eventually, but the timeline is probably going to be quite a bit. And I think B is it won't be supported in the future. I can tell you right now, there'll be an uproar if they totally get rid of it. At least within, years. I think what'll happen is it'll fall off support. So if you have trouble with it, you won't be able to get support. But and I'll highly recommend you move everything to a flow. But I would start planning for it now. And looking at what you've got, making sure you have good documentation about what you have in workflow rules and in Process Builder today, so that you can start planning to move forward and figure out what will work in flows and what you'll have to find other ways to do. The idea, though, is that they're going to keep updating Flow to get parity with everything that exists out there in workflow rule and Process Builder, so that you will be able to move it over. And keep in mind that Process Builder really is Flow, just with a different front end. So they use the same engine. When you deploy them today, you're deploying them from the same place. They are both called Flow definition when you use your outbound change steps.
That's really great news. But that means no more questions about them in the exam. Will only be
in the future, yes. It'll be a while before they come out of the exam. I know they're on some newer versions currently of some of the exams, and those are still topics that are being included. But eventually, yeah, the questions are definitely leaning more towards Flow for upcoming exam changes than they are about workflow rules and Process Builder.
Great, thank you.
I'd guess that it's probably still years away before something like that happens.
I'd say a full retirement is probably still years away, but I know that they're already starting to move exams more towards questions about anything else.
And yeah, definitely you don't have to rush or get scared about like, oh, I need to move everything right now. It's down the line, start planning for it. But as you can see, we still have Aura, we still have Visualforce. So we will get there, but it's gonna be like steps to get there.
And
yes,
remember, you're in orgs that already have those things, so it's always worthwhile to still know about them, how they work. It's still a topic to learn about and still try out. It doesn't go completely away for a while. And as those of us who move around the ecosystem a little more and change jobs or help other orgs out, you're still going to see them.
Yeah, I guess maybe a good advice will be to, if you're starting something new, try to do it, or it will be preferable to do it in Flow, and everything you have quote unquote legacy, which is going to be abundant of workflows. Start planning on migrating those.
So upcoming events. So we are planning a hike. I know, hiking, what does that have to do with user groups? Well, the whole trailhead thing. Let's go on a trail. See if I can figure out.
I think it's a great idea. Most of us in this community are sitting at a desk, or some people are standing desks, but it'd be great to get out. So
for that, I put out a survey to help us plan it. The link is there, and I will share it in the chat after I stop sharing screen. I can't do it while I'm sharing screen unless Orlando can pull it off. But the survey, basically, I list a few different trails that I know of. Feel free to say I like whichever ones you want to like. consider difficulty. So things that include ledges tend to be tougher hikes than things that don't. And then like what days of the week, I'm definitely going to do this as a after work on a weekday thing. I don't want to spend, if I'm going hiking Saturday, I'm going geocaching. So I don't think you guys need to come with me for that. Those tend to be really long hikes. And then time preference for a start, especially since it's an after work of like 5:30 or 6, I think are the options. I don't want to start too late since it starts getting dark earlier. And we're looking at doing this for October. For those of you interested in Salesforce Saturday, I kind of took this month off, but we'll return in October. I will probably do 2 to 3 in-person meetings and 1 virtual sharing session each month. So we do have a collaboration group in Trailhead under Cleveland Salesforce Saturday. I try to make sure I post everything there. I also share on both LinkedIn and Twitter. And then the only other event coming up in our local area is in Akron. The WIC group is having an in-person meeting on September 30th with Inez Garcia is presenting from her book about Agile with Salesforce. It should be an interesting session.
Yeah, it sounds pretty cool. I've always wondered about women in tech groups. If you guys are allowed to attend.
Guys are allowed to attend. We welcome allies. There's nothing wrong with it. Just you're more than welcome to attend, Orlando. Amy and Tanya, who run that group, would be more than happy to have you join.
All right, cool.
Just remember though, it's in Akron and they're holding it in I think it's Old 97. So I'm going to thank everyone for attending today. I'm going to shortly turn off the recording and then we can open the floor to questions and any other topics.